do. Hello and welcome. It is North London Derby week, one of the best weeks in the footballing calendar when Tottenham and Arsenal go head to head in arguably the best rivalry in the Premier League. This time it's a little bit different. This time it's been flipped round. Tottenham usually go to Arsenal first and they get the Emirates trip out of the way and done with early in the season. However, it is not the case this season. Arsenal come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium looking for their third win in a row at our new ground. A crazy load of rubbish on the line. I think if they win this weekend against Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they have won as many games in our new stadium since it opened than we have won games at the Emirates since that opened. And I think that opened in 2006, 2008. Might have to fact check that one, but poor blimey, it is a lot. There is a lot on the line this weekend. But welcome on in everybody who is joining me for the live stream, and hello to everybody that is watching it after the live stream's over. How's it going, Matthew? I see you, bro. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a lovely week. But yeah, as always, make sure if you are new around here to subscribe to the channel, like the video as well, and get involved in the comments if you are watching live or whether you are watching after this has been recorded. But it's a big week. It's a big week on the line for both clubs. Tottenham coming off the back of that loss to Newcastle before the international break, probably a bit of a vendetta, a bit of anger after that game, considering how we played and the fact that we couldn't really put the game to bed. And for me, I think it's going to be a very telling weekend for how both of these teams' seasons are going to go. It's going to be interesting because for Arsenal, the stakes are high. The stakes are high for Arsenal. They cannot afford to drop too many points in the Premier League this season, and if they lose to us at the weekend, they've then got to play Manchester City after that, and if they lose that, all of a sudden their title run could be over before it has started. But there is good news in the fact, for Tottenham that is, in the fact that Declan Rice is suspended for the Premier League's first North London derby of the season. Martin Odegaard picked up an injury on international duty for Norway, keeping him out. So they are missing two of their best players. So it's going to be a very interesting game. Jonah, how's it going, man? Hope you are doing well. But today, I just wanted to hop back on the live stream because the international break is finally over. It just seems to drag on for ages and ages. And yeah, we're finally free of it. I wanted to chat about the North London Derby. I wanted to talk to you guys because it's been a little while. I want to build a combined 11 between Arsenal and Tottenham players. And obviously I'm going to need your help, your guys' help to be able to do that as well. So yeah, for me, just sit back, relax, enjoy. And yeah, don't let the nerves kick in too much yet because, of course, the actual game is a little while away yet, and yeah, we don't really need to worry about it too much right this second. We've still got a good few days, so yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game, but we do have a lot to get to. There are some other things that I want to talk about as well, because there are some news that broke this morning regarding Rodrigo Bentancur that I want to chat about as well. Spurs have confirmed their fan forum is taking place and that people have been successful in that. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. Meftan, how do you think Arsenal's midfield will hold up with their suspensions and their injuries? Very interesting point. I think that's where the game is won or lost for Arsenal, because obviously missing two of their key midfielders is a huge loss, regardless as to who they replace him with, whether they decide to play someone like Saka in central midfield, whether they decide to drop Havertz a bit deeper, whether they bring Jorginho in if he's fit. There's a lot that they could do with it, but it is also a bit of a difficult one to guess, because I don't know who Arteta's going to go with. I think that there's talks of that Ethan Nwariri guy potentially coming in, the young fella coming in central midfield as well. So it's going to be where the game is won or lost, and we just have to make sure from a Tottenham perspective that we hold up our end of things and we make sure that our midfield is on form and on brand, and just making sure that they are at the top of their game. Because if they're not, Arsenal are still good enough to be able to punish us. And that is what we want to avoid. We want to put in a good performance, and Arsenal are vulnerable, in my opinion. They are vulnerable, and I think they will be there for the taking. In my humble opinion, I think they'll be there for the taking, and we are more than good enough to win this game. And we should always back ourselves at home in the North London derby anyway. So, it's good to be positive. I think it's good to be hopeful about this game. I'm certainly going to approach it with a positive mentality and a positive attitude as well. Centre back could be tough. Van der Ven, QT, Romero versus Gabriel and Saliba. Probably Gabriel was the only person not to be included. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation to have. Do you think Solanke is playing? Is that why Spurs hasn't posted any training videos? I unfortunately have no idea about Solanke. I have no idea whether Solanke is fit or not. They're very, very good Spurs under Ange Postecoglou at hiding this and just not really giving anything away. And I don't think we're going to know until Ange posts and talks about the team news in his press conference tomorrow. I hope that he's fit. We were assured that it wasn't a big injury by Ange when it was first done. He's already missed 2 games for us. So, if he's now done the international break and then is missing another game, all of a sudden you're sitting there thinking, well, this is quite a serious injury then, isn't it? Which is just not what we need. It's not what we need at all. But I really, really hope that he does play. We're missing that striker, and we need him back ASAP. But I'll get my ugly mug off the face. My ugly mug off the screen, because there are a few things I want to talk about before we go into this sort of building the combined 11. And the first thing I want to talk about is Rodrigo Bentancur, because it was announced earlier in the day that he has been charged with alleged breach of FA Rule E3 for misconduct in relation to a media interview relating to his spat that he thing that he said about Sonny, it's going to be a very difficult one to sort of gauge an idea as to whether his ban's going to be upheld or not. What do I think about the North London derby? Best derby in the Premier League, best derby in England, just second to none. Probably maybe advice, but anyway, the FA statement says Rodrigo Bentancur has been charged with an alleged breach of FA Rule E3 for misconduct in relation to a media interview. It is alleged that the Tottenham Hotspur midfielder has breached FA Rule E3.1 as he acted in an improper manner and or used abusive and or insulting words and or brought the game into disrepute. It is further alleged that this constitutes an aggravated breach, which is defined in FA Rule E3.2 as it included a reference, whether express or implied, to nationality and or race or ethnic origin. Rodrigo Bentancur has until Thursday the 19th of September to provide a response to the charge. So it's quite serious. The most, I guess, worrying thing about this charge on Rodrigo Bentancur is that he could face between 6 and 12 matches out through a ban, which, look, I'm not going to make obviously any excuses for what he did and what he said, there's a lot of roads that I could take this down. The main one perhaps being the fact that Rodrigo obviously apologised to Sonny, spoke to Sonny. Sonny forgave him and they're fine. I think their relationship is fine. We've said, someone's just said in the chat actually, what about the Enzo Fernandez stuff, who obviously didn't miss any games, which is a very, very valid point for Chance, and he knew exactly what he was doing. I do think that Bentancur's incident was a slip of the tongue that he didn't actually mean. However, the thing is, if they want to punish him and make an example out of him, because it is, I guess, technically racial abuse and to do with racism, it's very difficult to argue with it, because he did say what he said. and the problem there is how do you defend it? It's very, very difficult to defend it, especially in this day and age. So, a 12-match ban for me, for what the incident was and the extent of the incident, I think is probably too much. I would say if they were going to ban him, 1, 2, maybe 3 games at the most would be I'd say maybe a more reasonable sentence for him. However, this is only if the ban is upheld, and it may not be. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Matthew. It's a bit odd it took them months to charge him. Ironically, just a few days before the North London derby, probably to bloody try and unsettle everyone and get hand Arsenal that little bit of an advantage, because they need it with their injuries at the moment. And it wouldn't surprise me if they waited till then to do it. Why does the FA care it as a joke? Some forgave him, plus it happened months ago. Yes, it's a very, very difficult one. But like I say, it's very difficult to argue with. But moving on, there is some good news when it comes to Tottenham in regards to this North London derby. And I'm not celebrating his injury, by the way. I'm not celebrating Martin Odegaard messing his ankle up for Norway in midweek. But he is going to be out for Arsenal for at least 3 weeks, which is big for us. They're going to be without Declan Rice as well, after he was sent off against Brighton before the international break. So we know those two are huge misses for him. And then Mikel Merino is also out with I think he dislocated his shoulder. So he's out for like a month or 2 as well. So for Tottenham, they have to see this as an opportunity. They have to see it as an opportunity to sort of go out there, establish their authority in front of a home crowd who will be well up for the game. We know that. And just get on the front foot. Get on the front foot, attack the game, get a goal early, and then just take control. Because I think Arsenal are going to struggle in midfield. And we have to make sure that we're there. We have to make sure that we're there and make sure we are on top. Otherwise, they will punish us. In terms of Spurs and their injuries, there is still a few concerns, but like I've just mentioned, it's very difficult to gauge an idea as to who's actually injured until Ange does his press conference on Friday. There are question marks over Solanke, there are question marks over Richarlison, there are question marks over Van der Ven. Basuma came off with a knock in international duty. So we have to wait and see. Because, if Odegaard and Rice are both out for Arsenal, but we've got no Solanke, but we've got no Van der Ven, I think the impact is just as big for Tottenham. So, it's really, really annoying. But what can you do about it? Matthew's saying international breaks are so unnecessary. We've literally played 3 league games. I agree. Since they introduced the Nations League, they're just more regular and there are more international breaks, which is, the problem. They're overloading the players. Players are getting more injuries because of it. And it's a big pain. It's a big pain in the backside. So what can you do about it? Not much, really. We have to sort of get up and go. Get up and go with it. So what can you do? But that is where we stand. Arsenal have got no Calafiori as well. I don't think he's injured. Talks of Gabriel Jesus also out for Arsenal. So my overall sort of assumption and I guess lesson or thing that I'm taking away from this is that we are not going to have a better chance to beat Arsenal early in the season than this game on Sunday. It's going to be a very, very interesting game to watch, because if Arsenal come to our place and they still sort of absolutely dominate us, then it's wraps, isn't it? Like what do you do in that sense? Because it's Arsenal. I have no problem saying that Arsenal are better than us at the moment. They have a better team than us. They're further along in their project. They've got a lot going for them. But like with so many derbies in the Premier League, the North London derby is so unpredictable, and anything can happen. We could be sitting in the bottom half of the table and Arsenal could be 4-time in a row Premier League champions, and Tottenham fans would still sit here and be expecting Arsenal and expect Tottenham to win the game, because that's just how the derbies work. So for me, in previous years, I guess maybe more on the away games, I've sort of sat and said, yeah, Arsenal are going to beat us. But I feel good. I feel quietly confident about this one. Whether I should or not, I don't know. Let me know. But, I just do. It worked out for us to rest players 2 games a week from now on. Yeah, of course, when you consider the long-term things in terms of the Europa League, Carabao Cup coming up, league games as well, to get us ready for that, yes, I agree in that sense. I do agree in that sense. A bit of motivation from James Maddison. We are coming on to making the team, by the way. Just I'm getting through my tabs that I had open. James Maddison knows all about the North London derby. He's played in a couple now as well, where he says, we know what it means for our fans. Hopefully we can send our fans home happy with bragging rights over their friends and families. Let's hope. That is the Yves Bissouma news, which I mentioned, who is going to be assessed ahead of the North London derby after picking up a knock against Eswatini, of all countries. Honestly, just what's the point, man? What is the point? But yeah, some cool graphics I saw as well on Twitter that BR Football made this one. Sonny and Saka taking their international tops off for their club tops, straight back into a massive game. This was really interesting. So this is Arsenal with and without Odegaard, and I bookmarked it because it's very evident that they have a drop-off when Odegaard's not on the pitch. So with Odegaard, they have a 66.4% win percentage, but without him, it's only 52.6%. With him, goals per game, 2.1. Without him, a lot of a drop-off. Obviously, him being one of their chief creators. He scores goals as well. He is a big miss. Goals per game against doesn't have too much bearing on their defensive record. So we will still have to obviously work hard there. We know Saliba and Gabriel have got good partnership at the back for Arsenal, so we're going to have to figure something out there. They average more shots per 90 with Odegaard playing, and they average more points per 90 with Odegaard playing as well. So it's black and white. Odegaard is a huge miss for them. They will still back themselves to beat us, but equally it will give Tottenham players and fans more confidence that we will beat them. So, all to play for. Do you know what I hate though? 2 o'clock kickoff. I know why they do it. 2 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday is to stop the thugs. Do I want to use the word thugs? Stop the people that drink across the whole day and just want to start fights with people. Stopping them getting too ahead of themselves, I guess, is why they're having it at 2 o'clock. But yeah, to have this game as the first Super Sunday game they're taking liberties. They're taking liberties, in my opinion. But you can see here the injured and suspended players for each team. There's a bit on the top scorer for each team here. So Sonny and Havertz are the 2 top scorers for each club, both on 2 goals. Recent team form. Obviously, Arsenal's form is a lot better than ours. Oh God, I didn't realise our form was that bad. I guess you're including 2 games against Bayern Munich in pre-season friendlies there, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Arsenal got to wear their away kit as well this weekend, because the FA or the Premier League have decided that Arsenal's new kit this season's got too much white on it. So it might clash with Tottenham's white kit. So Arsenal are going to be wearing their away kit, their Lynx Africa kit, I believe. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Should we have a look at the head-to-head? Arsenal's head-to-head with Spurs. It's actually a lot more even than people would probably think, considering Arsenal have been the better team than Tottenham for most of their history or whatever it is. But Arsenal got 14 wins, Spurs 11 wins, 8 draws between the pair. Last time we met, they beat us 3-2 at our place. We'll pretend that didn't happen. 2-2 at their place, then they beat us at 2. Oh God, we haven't beaten Arsenal since October 2022. October 2022 was the last time we beat Arsenal. That 3-0. Sorry, not October 2022. May 2022. That chase for the top 4. last time we beat Arsenal. And then it's pretty much been a case of home team wins, away team wins, and then a couple of draws thrown in there as well. Do you see Romero staying at the club if we win nothing again this season? No. Nope. I think there are a lot of teams interested in Christian Romero, and I think a lot of teams will put in some big offers for him next summer. If we win something, I do genuinely think he'll stay, because I think he loves the club. But if we win nothing again this season, and especially if we don't then get Champions League to compensate, I think, unfortunately, he'll be out of here. As much as I don't want that to be the case, it could happen. It could happen. But let's get on to the main event, shall we? Let's build our combined 11, our combined Tottenham and Arsenal starting 11. Now, the question is, do we do this with the squads of both players, or should we build it with the teams, with the players that are available for the match on Sunday? Because if that's the case, we'd probably have to do it without Odegaard, without Rice, without Solanke, without Van de Ven, without Basuma as well. I'm not sure I want to do that. I think I want to build a combined 11 for the squads as opposed to who's available. Just so we can see, just so we can get a balance. And it's quite difficult in most of the positions, to be honest. I don't know if that's me being like Tottenham biased, but it's quite difficult. So we'll start with goalkeeper. Obviously, it's between two. David Raya or Vicario. Who goes in? Who goes in? Tell me, let me know. What do you think? Is Vicario a better goalkeeper than David Raya? Because if Tottenham fans say no to that, then it's very difficult to put him in, isn't it? If we're sat here saying David Raya is better than Vicario, then he probably has to go in. I think it's very difficult to gauge because Tottenham conceded a lot of goals last season. Arsenal had the best defence in the league. So naturally, David Raya wins the Golden Glove. He gets a lot of clean sheets, obviously, which wins him that Golden Glove. He also has a lot less to do. But I think Vicario was impressive. In my opinion, Vicario was impressive last season. But is he better than David Raya? We were all desperate to sign David Raya when he first sort of was linked to a leave in Brentford. We didn't. We went for Vicario. Everyone was sort of like, oh, who is he? Who is he? And then he played a few games for us and we sort of grew to love him a bit. And for me, I'm going to put David Raya in. I'm going to put David Raya in because he is Golden Boot winner. He is the Golden Boot winner. Arsenal's defence is good, as much as I don't like to admit it. But we'll put him in there for now. But if you disagree, let me know. Let me know in the comments. And we can consider changing it. But let's move on to left back. So, your options for this position are Jurriën Timber, I would say, Destiny Udogie, Calafiori, and Zinchenko. Arsenal got 3 left backs. Have we really only got 1? I guess, or Ben Davis. Or Ben Davis for Tottenham if we're adding it in there. For me, Destiny Udogie is the best out of all of them. Destiny Udogie is the best. I'm putting him in because Zinchenko, no, Udogie's better than him. I think the debate for these two is between Udogie and Timber. But for me, I'm not even entirely sure that Timber is a left back. Udogie, at 20 years old, had a really impressive campaign for Tottenham last season. We missed him a lot. Last season when he was injured. Timber, Arsenal got along just fine without him. I'm not saying that he's a bad player, but for me personally, I'm going Udogie in that left back spot. Right back. Right back is difficult. Ben White or Pedro Porro. Ben White or Pedro Porro. And it depends what you look at in a right back. Because defensively, I don't think I have any problems saying that Ben White is better defensively than Pedro Porro. Going forward and attacking, assists, goals, chance creations, crosses. Pedro Porro, in my opinion, is better than Ben White. So it's quite evenly balanced here for me. I don't know. I find it very difficult. I'm gonna put Ben White in to start. Okay. I don't know. No, I don't know if I think it is Ben White. I don't know if it is Ben White. I love Pedro Porro, but he's a bit more of a defensive liability. But I just don't really like Ben White. We're changing it. I agree. I'm going with you guys. I'm going with you guys in the chat. You guys saying Porro? We'll put Porro in. It's fine. He's there. Now, left centre back. Gabriel or Mickey van de Ven? Or, look, Saliba has to go in, right? So, yeah, Saliba has to go in. I think Saliba is that guy. I put him in the wrong one. As much as I hate to say it, Saliba is that guy. So he goes in that. Sorry, my little headrest is broken. That's not ideal. 1 second. Oh, better right now. There we go. Sorry about that. So we've got Saliba in on right centre back. We could go and put Romero in the left centre back, but if we think that he is, I guess, better than Van de Ven overall. But I want to go for balance, and I want to put players in their actual positions. If they're not better than the player that's competing with them in their own position, I think that's probably where you need to put. Those players. So I agree with you, Jonah. I think we'll go Van de Ven at left back over Gabriel. I know Arsenal fans are like huge fans of Gabriel, but Mickey van de Ven in that left centre back role he's like gold. He's like diamond. I think he's irreplaceable and such a big miss when he's not playing. So that's our defence. What do we think? 3 Tottenham players in the back 4 is crazy. 3 Tottenham players in the back 4. See, this is what I mean. Arsenal had the best defence last season. They had the best defence. So it's like, thinking about it logically, is that balanced? Is that fair? But I'm not sure. We'll go with it though. I don't mind it. Right, 2 CDMs. I think it's fair to say Declan Rice gets in one of them. Just to clarify, we're doing players across the squad because there are so many suspensions and injury issues. It's just going to be a complete mess if we go with only the players available and we don't know which players are available and aren't available for Tottenham yet, etc. So I think Declan Rice goes in one of those CDM spots. Now the tough thing is here, do you put someone like Basuma in? Do you put someone like Thomas Partey in? Do you put a Pat Matasar? What do we think? For me, it's Rice and it's Basuma. For me, personally, that's what I think. I'd have Basuma over Partey for sure. I'd have Basuma over Partey. I would have Basuma over the likes of Pap Sarr. I would have Basuma over the likes of Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall. So I think in that CDM role next to Declan Rice, I think that's fair. Let me know if you don't think it's fair, but I think it is. And in that more advanced attacking role, it's between James Maddison and Martin Odegaard, isn't it? I think for those two. And I think as much as I love Madders and as good as he can be, I don't think there's any way that Odegaard doesn't go into that team for me. So you go Odegaard sitting in front of a Rice and Basuma sort of pivot. I think that's the fairest way to do it. You reckon including Maddison and Odegaard with one CDM? We could do that. Let's have a look at changing the formation. if we go 4-1 to 4, where are 4-1s? That's not what I want. No, I don't want 2 up front still. Like a 4-1-4-1, yeah? Like this. Like a 4-1-4-1. And then you get rid of Basuma, put Rice in at CDM. And then the left central mid, put Maddison. Do we like that better? Do we think? I don't mind that. Very attacking, but who cares? It's a combined 11, making up of the best players. You want it to be attacking. You want it to be decent. So, that leaves left mid, right mid, and striker. And I actually think all of it's pretty straightforward. I actually think it's all pretty straightforward. Left mid, you go Heung-min Son. You have to type it in the weird way. Heung-min Son. I think right mid, you go Saka. And that completes the defence and the midfield. I like that team. That's a team right there. Remove this, I love him though. Yeah, he just needs a bit of consistency, doesn't he? Bit of consistency, and he can earn his place in the team. But yeah, I don't mind that. Don't mind it at all. So we've got those two, and then we've got Odegaard, Maddison, Son, Saka sitting in front of Rice as like 4 with that attacking threat there, and then striker. And I guess it's between Dominic Solanke and Kai Havertz. But I still don't know if I see Kai Havertz as an out-and-out striker. And I mean, for me personally, I'm taking Solanke all day, every day. I'm taking Solanke all day, every day over Havertz. For me, just my personal preference. But again, I think Arsenal fans, I don't know, it's a very, very difficult one because we haven't seen Solanke too much for Spurs yet. Did Solanke outscore Havertz in the Premier League last season for Bournemouth? Baked beans up top, surely. It's got to be Solanke. It's got to be Solanke. I have to fight my corner for the Spurs striker there. Havertz is very inconsistent. He misses a lot of chances. But yeah, I just don't. I don't know if I can put Havertz up there. Am I being silly? Let me know. Let me know if I'm being silly. I don't think I am. Yeah, he is a UCL goal scoring winner, but one season proof. Yeah, but it's not got anything to do with that. Solanke scored 19 Premier League goals last season, however many it was. What's that got to do with anything? Kai Havertz, did he outscore? Should we find out? Premier League top scorers 23-24. Potential or form, yeah, of course. Let's have a look. Who were the top scorers? Yeah, look, like where is Kai Havertz on that team? Where is Kai Havertz on that list? Because I can't see him. Havertz versus Solanke stats. How do I? What's the best site to compare them on? Let me know, and I'll look them up. I think you're waffling, Kai. I think you're waffling. This is the team. This team wins the Champions League. Havertz offers a lot more. And the away pens. Nah. Offers a lot more in what sense? By missing chances, missing open goals? I don't know. Stats compare Premier League. I think we can do it on the Premier League comparison. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Solanke has the potential to be up there for sure. Right, let's go. How do I actually search Solanke? Havertz. Alright, let's get the comparison. So, overview. Havertz does have more goals overall than Solanke. What about, like, you want to attack him really, don't you? Goals per match. Is Havertz minutes per goal? Yeah, fine. Solanke's had more shots, less shots on target, 50% shooting accuracy compared to Havertz, 11% shooting success. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. 4 penalties, 1 for Havertz compared to Solanke's 1. 10 headed goals for Havertz as well. Goals outside the box 2. Big chances scored, big chances missed. Havertz has missed 50 big chances. Yeah, look, the stats do say. I said it's a tough one. I personally would have Solanke starting in my team over Havertz, but I guess if you want to look at it by stats and go by stats, you can do that as well. Like, we can change it. I have no problem with changing it. It's not an issue for me. Yeah, he's impressive for Bournemouth, and that's the other thing you've got to consider, that he's been like, those stats are compared to someone that was playing for Chelsea and then was playing for Arsenal, two teams that have been towards the top of the Premier League for all of those years. Bournemouth have never really been that high up. It's a difficult decision to make, and I think it's relatively 50-50. But I just don't know. The thing is, right, if you sit there and you say, would you rather have, as your striker for your team, would you rather have Havertz up top, or would you rather have Solanke up top? Yeah, but we don't know about... Well, I guess you could say that Solanke didn't perform for Chelsea or for Liverpool, but will he for Tottenham? Who knows? Okay, fine. All right, you guys win. Fine. For now, we'll put Havertz in. But if Solanke plays... Look at that picture, by the way. If Solanke plays and Solanke scores in the North London derby this weekend, I'm coming back to it. Okay, I see. It's a tough one. I'm going on the vibes in the chat. I'm going on the stats. And we'll put Havertz up there. Is that fair? That team overall, is it fair? What do you think? I don't think it's too biased. I think you could argue between Porro and White. I think Udogie definitely at left back. Arsenal fans would probably have Gabriel at centre back. Rice, Maddison, Odegaard, Saka, Son, Havertz. I think that is a good team. There's a lot of opinion that could be had here. See you later, Kai. And it's a very interesting one. It's a very interesting one. I'm unsure. I'm unsure what I make of this team. But we'll go with it for now. We'll go for it now. And yeah, we'll have to revisit it. I think in a few weeks or months' time, when Solanke has had the chance to actually play some games for Spurs. And yeah, go from that. I don't know. I feel like I'm not being a proper Spurs fan if I don't put Solanke up top. Just don't know. I'm going to go for it. But that is my team. That's the combined 11. Let me know what you think. Are there any players that you would change? And let me know your feelings overall. I'll stream there because I've got a few bits to do. But I will have a preview out for the North London derby. That will be out tomorrow at some point, where I will be, talking about the latest team news from Ange Postecoglou and his press conference, how confident I feel, predictions, all that sort of stuff. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new, hit the notification bell, like the video. Thank you everyone that came to the live stream. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you everyone that got involved in the chat, helped me build the starting 11. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully we see a lovely Spurs win in this North London derby at the weekend, and I will catch you for my preview tomorrow, and then I'll have an instant reaction video out after the game on Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, for now, that's it from me. Enjoy the rest of your week, and